What's his name?
Go, baby, another episode. I think episode 9 now. So thanks, Johnny, for jumping on all the way from France.
Thanks for letting me on, bro. Appreciate it.
Well, good. Appreciate you coming on. So we'll just start off the bat. Where are you? You're in France, eh?
Yep. So I'm in the southwest of France at the moment. I'm living in a small village town of Grenade, about half an hour from Toulouse, one of the largest cities in France. So that's where I'm based right now.
Let's let everyone know where you came from.
So I'm born and raised in Sydney. Born in Cogra, St. George Hospital.
Were you? I thought you were born in I thought you were born in NZ.
Nah, not born in NZ, man. I wish I was, but raised my whole life in Bankstown in the 22. So yeah.
And when did you go to France? 2 weeks ago?
Yep. So I came to France 2 weeks ago. Yep. And I've been here ever since. So awesome, man.
First off, how are you adjusting to it?
It took a little bit to adjust, with a bit of drama in the first week with my first team. But to come to my second team and feel a little bit more settled now, it's I'm really happy here and I feel a lot better.
Just a bit of background. So obviously you play footy back home and you, through your management, you got a contract to come play in the French league. So did you get contracted to a different team when you first went?
Yeah. So I got my contract through Westside Pathways. Shout out to them. So the first deal was with Montpellier Sharks, and I spent the week there, and it was sort of a sticky situation. So it sort of fell through. It just wasn't working out. So I called my manager and he got on the phone straight away to another team and they said they were keen on me. So I pretty much left the next weekend.
While you're there?
Yeah, it was. Sorry?
Is it a different area?
Yeah. It's about 3 hours from Montpellier where I am now. Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Sorry, bro. Let me just let my cat out of the room. Freaking, I can hear the bell ringing. 1 sec. Sorry. Sorry about that.
All good, man. All good.
So yeah, you're playing footy back home. How did that come about? How did you link up with West Side Pathways, or how did you get into talks to go overseas?
So I met the founder of Westside Pathways, John Talanga, in March through Instagram. I put my highlights up from the last season and he happened to see them.
Wow.
And he hit me up about, just seeing how my footy was going and saying that he could get me offers, to play both codes, rugby league and union. So yeah, I was really interested to be a part of his vision. Be managed by him, and I've been with him ever since. Yeah, shout out to Westside Pathways.
What made you put up the highlights?
I think after last season, winning the Group 6 Grand Final with Felmy and playing alongside blokes like Jacob Loco, Vincent Lulai, and Jake Mullaney, it really put a spark in me saying, I really think I could still have a crack at this with footy. Because yeah, man, I've always wanted to be a pro football player, but growing up, through high school and stuff, that vision was sort of fading away. I was going through a fair bit at the time, so yeah, that was me. It was pretty tough.
Speaking of high school, show off that that thing that you got on right now, the one and only Bath High School. Yeah, that's where I met you in year 7, I think. And you played for Sporties too. Yeah. But we'll draw back on footy when you were younger. So let's go to reps kind of thing, because we know about high school footy. We stayed through that for the whole our whole schooling journey. But how'd you go with reps growing up?
So when I turned 13, I ended up in the Bulldogs development squad with some of the boys from school. And, I played every year, playing development all the way up to Harold Matthews, and then playing 17s, and then training with Bulldogs SG ball. And then a couple of weeks later, towards the season, round one, I got released and I had nowhere to go. And then I ended up at Dragons SG War, courtesy of Johnny Wilson and one of the other teachers. Yeah, man. Awesome. Yeah.
So
And
after
then,
that,
yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, that was me. Nah, that was me.
After SG Ball, did you just finish the season and then it was back to club footy?
Yeah, it was back to club footy, playing for Basil Broncos for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I said before, I was going through a fair bit at the time. I wasn't really liking my footy anymore. And I just thought, I needed a fresh start playing union. And I switched to West Harbour and I played there for 2 seasons. And I really enjoyed it. It was
I
fun.
remember that about around year 12, year 11, year 12, you started to kind of disengage with footy. But speaking of union, did you grow up playing both codes?
I didn't really grow up playing union. I played a state tournament back in primary school, back in year 6. And then when the opportunity came up to play again in high school for Sydney Southwest year 12, I was like, why not just do it? And made the team and we won the state championships, which was awesome. It was a great feeling. Sort of got that spark back for sport again. So,
and that's what made you change into club union?
Yeah, it's exactly what happened. Yeah.
What did you end up doing after school? Graduated 2017, you're 18 years old.
So after school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. All I really knew was footy. So I got into the sevens program at West Harbour, played a season with them. In terms of work, I hadn't worked straight out of high school. About 6 months, I didn't work. So I was out of a bit of money and I needed to work. So I went into a traineeship in the warehouse and that wasn't quite working out the way I wanted to. So I ended up just switching to casual in the warehouse and just making money off there.
What did you learn from working in the warehouse?
Man, I learned the one lesson was in the warehouse where it's sort of like a job where it's somewhere where if you want to just settle and just take the easy road and just I was like, nah, I don't want to work in the warehouse anymore, bro. I want to get out there and chase my dreams. You know what I mean? It's far out. It's boring. I don't want to be that guy 10, 20 years down the track at the pub or whatever, just saying, oh, I could have done this, could have done that. But, instead I was just working in the warehouse. I don't want to be that guy. No way, man.
I'm proud of you for taking that leap of faith, bro. Because it's easy to fall in the trap, especially warehouse jobs. And I feel like in Sydney, it's something that heaps of guys, especially guys, do out of high school because it pays decent, for like high 20s an hour.
Yeah.
And it's an easy job. It's like kind of brain dead. You just go to the same sort of thing every day. So it's easy to get comfortable, but I'm proud of you for taking that leap and realizing you actually want to chase your dreams.
Oh, I appreciate it, bro. Thank you for that.
So how'd you take that leap? What'd you do from the warehouse?
So I did pick and pack welding products.
Did you quit that to go all into footy?
Yeah, I quit all that just a couple of weeks ago. I was like, nah, I'm going all in. I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah.
You mentioned you played what was the reserve grade team, the Group 6 team? What's that called?
Oh yeah, so for Thelmere Roosters, I played in the reserve grade team when I started off there.
What's Group 6? What's like the levels? Is it Group 6 Ron Massey first grade or on a reserve grade?
So Group 6 is sort of just like a country footy competition out west, West Tigers area.
Yeah.
So there's not really much of a pathway out those ways except just for the country championships. And I already played that, so I thought, yeah, that's enough for me.
Were you getting paid to play?
Yeah, I was getting paid to play. It wasn't a lot of money, but I was just grateful to be able to play footy and just get the money that I could. Yeah.
That was your first time against men, eh?
Going against who, sorry?
Men, like grown men. Was that your first time? Yeah.
Oh, bro, like the first couple of games, I was like, oh, damn. Like my body was quite sore because, growing up playing against just our own age group, it's really different when you go playing against men. It's like far out, really sore, man.
Yeah.
But sort of got used to it, and I'm just it's normal to me now.
What'd you learn training and playing alongside guys like Jacob Loco and ex-footy NRL players?
Oh, bro, like I learned of just how professional he is when he trains, and with how he plays, how he prepares, and I implemented that sort of into my game day routine. So be able to play alongside them and learn off them, it was a great experience and something that I'll never forget. It's awesome.
That's mad.
Yeah.
We'll go back a little bit to school.
Yeah.
So we had the same group. You were all through year 7 to 12, like me. Same group of boys, pretty close. What was your favorite part about it all?
My favorite part about school was just the chemistry that we had, like together as friends, and on the footy field. Like, bro, like the games that we played together, they were just really special, and I had so much fun, man. And be able to win that state championship, bro, that was crazy. That was a crazy game, man.
It makes all the hard times
so much drama
and the thumpings worth it, eh?
Yeah, exactly, bro. I mean, we were going through that bit of time in the middle of our school years where we were just rebuilding. And I feel like it really paid off big time because, in year 12, the way that we played, man, we can't, I reckon we could have made the semi-finals at least, man. It was tough pill to swallow in the quarters against Endeavour, but, we're still really happy that we won that state championship, man.
What's the biggest learning coming out of school?
Learning coming out of school. Well, far out. I learned that everything that you learn in school, you won't necessarily use outside of it. For example, freaking algebra and Pythagoras theorem, like who is using that outside of school right now that I know? I don't know anybody.
Honestly.
My gosh, bro. It does my head in. It gives me a headache.
Yeah, it's hard because it doesn't apply to everyone. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You might have some people who choose that math route, but then others who don't choose it still have to sit it. But like Andy might have learned some in the trades class. He's putting that to practice.
Yeah. Andy's a genius, man. I love Andy. He was awesome. He was a great captain back in the day. Really good, man. It was great.
How was it to have Wilson as a coach? What did he teach you?
Bro, like he was awesome. I'm really happy to have spent the 6 years as playing footy for the school with him being the coach. Just had a lot of great times. I learned a lot of him. It was just great times with him. I'll never forget those times. It's really good.
So you mentioned John hit you up from Westside Pathways. How long ago was that?
Yeah. So that was in March, about earlier this year, 8 months ago.
Yeah.
He hit me up about opportunities then, and I just had to take it, man.
Since then, was it just contract negotiations, or was it waiting for COVID?
Yeah. So we were doing contract negotiations even through COVID.
Yeah.
Just trying to find ways, to get deals and whatnot, especially through these times. Because man, it's really hard. It was tough. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember Dylan mentioning to me that you might have gone to America. Was that an option?
Yes. Yeah, that was definitely an option, but there was a new competition starting in North America called the NARL, and because coronavirus was still big over there, they weren't able to afford for the competition to go through safely and thoroughly, so they had to can that, and our plans also, which was tough.
So you got the deal done. You ended up going to France, and then you moved teams. What team are you playing at now?
So I'm playing in the reserve team at the moment for Graden Tour, Rugby 13. So it's just a team in Elite 2 competition in France. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And,
what's that compared to like Sydney? What type of comp is that?
Bro, like the Elite 2 competition compared to Australia, man, It's quite different. So I think rugby league is sort of still growing in France. So the competition is not as it's not as competitive as it is in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being very honest, but yeah, it's still really good to be able to play the teams that we do in France. It's really enjoyable.
What's the
Awesome.
highest level in France? Is it, do they have a league of their own, kind of like the NRL or the Super League? Or do they trying into the Super
Yes.
League?
Yeah, so Elite Two is the competition I'm in now. It's just the second highest in France, domestic competition in France. And Elite One, the one above me, is the sort of the NRL version in France.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm training with one of the teams in Elite One at the moment, splitting between Garden Tour and Toulouse. So I'm hoping to get a crack with Toulouse while I'm here before my time ends. Yeah.
So just for comparison, it's kind of like training with the Bulldogs, but then playing at Mounties, the reserve grade.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's what it is. Yeah.
What's the goal? What was the goal going there? Is it to try and crack that Toulouse team?
So my sole goal was to put myself out there, play the best footy that I could, so I can play, for Toulouse in Elite One. Because with there being the best competition in France, you want to play against the best teams and the best players.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my sole goal. It was to really get a training gig with them, and I was able to crack that. But being able to play a game with them, it'd just be icing on the cake, really. Be awesome. Yeah.
Is it in competition now, or is it like pre-season?
Yeah, it's in competition now. So Elite Two, we're about 7 weeks in, and the Elite One competition, it's about 4 weeks in. So yeah, really deep into the competition now, and yeah, way past pre-season.
What day do you play on the weekends, or what's the flow like? What's the training and game flow like?
So the trainings that I do, I split 2 trains with Garden Tour, 2 with Toulouse, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And depending on the schedule, what the federation wants, we play either Saturday or Sunday. So,
yeah. Is it traveling all around France?
Just traveling around the south of France. Just, won't go up to north near Paris or whatever. So,
No.
Yeah.
No teams.
No, most of the footy is played south of France.
What's the area like?
It is so different compared to Australia, man. Like it's mind-boggling. Like it's crazy. Like all the old buildings and the people, most of them not being able to speak English. Like it's like it does my head in, sort of.
Yeah.
Being in a foreign country and not being able to speak French, it's a bit tough. But I'm learning as I go. So
trying to learn the language.
It's really good. Yeah, sort of trying to learn the language. I know the weekends, like the words for Saturday and Sunday, and that's all I pretty much know. And like, so Saturday is samedi, Samedi, and Sunday is dimanche, Dimanche.
Fuck, that's
those are bro. Like, there's a lot to learn here. It's crazy.
You said you're staying with a player. Is he, what nationality is he?
Who's that, sorry?
The player you're staying with? What nationality is he?
He's full French.
Speak English?
Born and raised. Yeah, speaks really good English, actually. Yeah, we have great conversations, which eases my mind a lot.
Yeah, so he's able to take you around and help you get your food or whatever.
Yeah. He's very helpful. Able to, if I need anything, he's here. He can help wherever he can. Yeah, He's awesome. He's really good. Yeah.
What's the weather like?
Oh man, like it's autumn right now, going into winter, and it's freezing. It is cold, man. Like, everybody's just sort of getting sick. It's sort of similar, but I'd say New Zealand's a bit colder. But just France is just, oh my gosh, it's still cold. It's freezing.
Yeah,
like everybody's getting sick here. Like far out. Yeah,
You've
man.
been sightseeing and stuff?
Yeah, I've been a bit of sightseeing when I was in Montpellier. The city is beautiful. It's amazing. Like the old buildings and just the people, the streets. It's something that you don't see in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, good.
Sorry. Yeah, it's something that you don't see in Australia, which buzzes me out. It's crazy.
Is this your first time in a foreign country other than New Zealand?
Nah, so I've been to New Zealand, I've been to Samoa, and
yeah.
I've been to Vietnam. So
Oh yeah. It's
yeah,
for holiday.
and yeah, Vietnam, Samoa were for holidays. Yeah, it was really fun. I went to Vietnam for a weekend football tournament, rugby union tournament. Yeah, that was really good.
What do you reckon you've learned moving from Australia to here without your family and close people around you?
I've learned to be a lot more oh my god, sorry.
Oh, good.
Oh my gosh.
Is that Dylan calling you or something?
So, nah, that's my mom. I told her stop calling me. I'm in an interview. So coming over here, I learned that I have to be a lot more independent and I have to just solely rely on myself because my parents can't just fly over and just help me out. You know what I mean? Like with shopping, with cooking, getting me around. I have to learn that myself if I'm gonna be able to travel around and be able to live on my own. You know what I mean?
Does it make you reflect on back home? Or make
Oh,
you grateful for
heck
things
yeah.
that you may have taken for granted?
Yeah, 100%. Like I will be honest, freaking living back home, it was sort of easy for me, living with mum and dad, and they'd always be cooking dinners and whatnot for me and taking me around to places and to my games. Over here, yeah, there's definitely having to do that on my own most of the time is, yeah, it really makes me think about the times back home. Yeah, it's a lot.
How long is your contract there for?
So my contract here is for about 6 months.
Yeah.
But knowing with coronavirus and anything else that happens between now and then, it could be short, could be 6 weeks, or it could go all the way into next season to the end of the season. Just really depends on times, really. Yeah, exactly.
What's it like there now? Is there lockdowns or any restrictions?
Oh man, apparently there's a new wave coming to Europe. Like it's hit Netherlands, which is only next door to me. So I'm sort of bracing myself here. No one here really like follows the restrictions or the rules here. Like, yeah, everyone's just completely over it, man.
What about like police and that? Are they really hardballing it?
I've only seen like maybe 1 or 2 cop cars in this village. So
mad. They're cheering.
Yeah. But when you go into the city, I went into the city on Tuesday, like I lost count of how many cop cars there were on the streets. I'm like, man, they don't kid around here. No. They don't kid around.
You can't get in trouble, mate. You might get deported. Might send you back to Samoa.
Come on now. Not even.
What's the food like there?
The food, oh man, it is amazing, man. I might come back fat. Man. The food is so good here. It's amazing. Like it's the most of it. So different to Australia. Yeah, exactly. Like everything here is just so rich and tender. Like especially the chocolate being so rich, the dark chocolate. Oh my gosh, like wow, really, it's something I've never tasted in my life. It's crazy. Yeah,
careful,
man.
don't do a Zion. Don't do a Zion and get comfortable.
How
about the women?
No way, man. No way. The women, oh man, there's all types of different women here. There's a wide variety to choose from here, man. But also gotta think about, why I'm here, stick to business, you know what I mean?
That's it.
Because I don't know what it is, man, but what I've always thought about with these days, like you spend the time with a woman, and then like someone be recording you or whatever, and then they put it on social media, and then they start accusing you of all this stuff, man. Like, nah, bro.
Not worth
That's
it.
what turned me off. That's what's turned me off about like dating and stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And night clubbing and all that. Yeah.
Just gonna
Big
stay
time.
there, train hard, do what you're there for. Take care of business.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it what?
Yeah.
Is it Monday or Sunday there?
It's Monday morning here.
What do you got on for the rest of the
Monday
day?
morning. Sort of just resting up a bit, carrying a couple of niggles on me at the moment. So I'm just gonna rest up and then do some shopping later. And that'll be me, man.
Is there a way to watch your games?
Yeah, so on YouTube, the first game that I played, the other team chucked the game on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then just yesterday's game, my coach sent the link over to me through the phone. So I'm just waiting for that to load up, and I'll just watch the game.
They stream it on anything?
Not the Elite 2 games, only the Elite 1 games. They'll stream on Facebook and YouTube and
Hopefully.
French Sport.
Hopefully you'll be there in the next couple of weeks.
I hope so, man.
All right, bro. I just got 3 questions, quick ones to ask you, and then we'll wrap it up. Where do you see yourself in 3 years?
Where do I see myself in 3 years? With the way that I'm going right now, definitely training full time in a professional rugby league or rugby union team. Definitely.
Who's your favorite athlete?
My favorite athlete growing up is hahah from the Warriors, from a Warrior player. With the size that he was, he could move, he could run, he could score, he could make plays out of nothing. Yeah, definitely my favorite player growing up.
Best player you've played with or against?
Oh, man, that's a tough one because the amount of players that I've come past and played with and against, there's so many to choose from. Like, my favorite player.
3.
So my favorite player I've played alongside Jacob Loco is definitely one. Brandon Wakeham is another one. And one more. I'd probably have to say Jake Mulaney. Yeah. That's my top 3 best players that I've played with also.
And any words of advice to young kids or people who, like you said, were in that position, whether it's a warehouse or a job, they want to chase their dreams?
Yeah. Okay. So do not settle for the easy road. Just go for your dreams, man. Like, far out. Don't be that guy 10, 20 years down the track at the pub or whatever saying, I could have done this, I could have done that. Go and do it. Go and chase your dreams, man, because you only live once. Far out.
Oath, Johnny.
Yeah.
And Johnny's the perfect example of that. As everyone knows, who knows him back in the days playing touch or any game really, 110%, diving on the ball, whether it's grass, sand, or concrete. So Johnny really, he doesn't just talk the talk, he's about it. So thanks for coming on, bro. Look forward to watching what you do in France and hopefully reach those goals.
Thank you for having me, bro. Appreciate it. Shout out to you and your podcast channel, as well as to Westside Pathways and to my family and friends back home. Stay safe. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
All right, bro. Take care.